Guys, this is DFS Chan coming to you here on February 17th. Here to talk about tonight's 5-game DFS LOL DFS slate. We have 3 games in China and 2 games in Korea, so we have a lot to talk about. So let's dive in. I posted the starters, confirmed starters for China on Twitter. So here are the odds. Rare Atom is a slight favorite at -168 against LGD. And Weibo Gaming, WBG, is a big favorite at -475 against Ultra Prime. And Edward Gaming, EDG, is a big moderate favorite at -350 over FPX, which I do not agree with those odds. But all 3 games in China have the same total kills over under at 26.5, which is pretty high. So let's dive in. Yeah, so let's dive into the most lopsided matchup based on the Vegas odds. So let's do that. Weibo Gaming versus Ultra Prime. So these are my notes that I took earlier when I took a look at the slate. I do think Weibo Gaming is going to win. Let me pull that up, this thing. There you go. So let me do this so I can see better. So as you can see, Weibo Gaming is starting the regular 5 starters, the Shy, SFFM, Angel, Huanfeng, and On. And they've been playing really well. They're the ones who beat EDG. EDG was the world champions, as you guys know. But Weibo Gaming has been lights out, especially the Shy. The Shy in the top lane is back to his old, amazing form. I mean, he's playing like one of the best top laners in the league right now. So I think that's obviously a mismatch for the Shy, in favor of the Shy. And then jungling, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I like SFFM, but I think Hacker is actually a decent jungler, so I think that's a wash. But in the mid lane, which I value the most in this meta right now, I do think Angel has an advantage over Crying, and it's not like Crying plays a lot of carry champions that can carry that team to victory often. So in the bottom lane, I think it's kind of a wash as well, because I think Huanfeng's good, but I think Xiaoqi is better than On. So, but I'm not scared of Crying to carry the load for that team. So it's just all around. I think Weibo Gaming is more talented. Just on its paper, just comparing the starters. But also the metrics tell me that Weibo Gaming has an advantage in the jungling, in the jungle, but also in the laning phase, but also in the gold spent for the game. So all of those signs point to me that Weibo Gaming is probably going to win 2-0. So I don't think Ultra Prime has a chance tonight, unfortunately. You could take a shot with, you could take a deep shot. I mean, deep GPP shot if you wanted to with Ultra Prime stack, but I just don't see Ultra Prime winning tonight. So I don't think I'm gonna have any Ultra Prime in my lineups for DFS purposes. But Ultra Prime plays really fast. I mean, I'm just talking about the kill upside now. As mentioned, it's sitting at 26.5 kills total over under, which is pretty high. Then the average combined kills per minute for this matchup is at 0.83. After looking at those metrics, I found out that Ultra Prime plays fast, but Weibo Gaming plays a little bit slower. I think if Weibo Gaming wins, which I think they will, obviously, I think it potentially limits their kill upside. So I know they're the biggest favorite in China, right, amongst the 3 Chinese games. So I do think maybe using them as a short stack would not be the worst idea. But obviously, like, they can blow up and kind of, rack up some kills, but still, I just don't see them. I just don't see this, as bloody as some other LPL matchups tonight. Also, it could be where Weibo Gaming can win, like, 10, 12-2 or something like that, you know, like the one side domination. So, which could happen. All right, let's dive into the second matchup of the in China. We're gonna talk about the EDG matchup next because that's the second biggest favorite amongst the Chinese teams. EDG coming off of a loss against Weibo Gaming, they looked horrible, especially JJ and Scout. I mean, they looked horrible for some reason. I think they just had a trap game there. I don't think that was really representative of how they have been playing and how their season is gonna go. I don't think it's gonna be the start of a skid like some people are saying. I think EDG will bounce back. But at the same time, they're playing against FPX today. Let's look at the rosters and talent. Xiao Liao, who actually has been playing pretty well against Flandre. So Flandre is pretty good too. So I think that's a wash. Kled surprisingly has been playing pretty well for FPX. I think he's been getting better and better over the past few games. And JJ, like I said, and Scout have been playing pretty poorly. I just feel like it's a wash too. And Gory, although I think his overall play has been pretty bad, but I think he does just enough for the team to be able to kind of sustain his laning phase. And then in the team fights, he's shown that he can definitely do a good job positioning and everything. It's not like he makes, bad mistakes or anything like that. So I think that top three is solid and they can go up against EDG. But in the bottom lane, I definitely prefer Viper, Mako over LWX and Hang, even though LWX has had a pretty good start to the season. So yeah, I mean, long story short, I think EDG has a slight advantage, but not that big of an advantage as people may think. I think FPX has pretty good talent on its paper. And then I looked at the metrics, and EDG has a jungle control percentage of 0.7% advantage. Excuse me. And then FPX has a slight favorite advantage in the laning phase. And then EDG, pretty big gold spend percentage. So I do think EDG will win the series. But I think FPX definitely has a shot. So I'm probably going to play both teams tonight. And this is an interesting nugget for this matchup. If FPX wins and upsets EDG, I think it definitely limits the kill upside for FPX because EDG actually has a very low combined kills per minute in their losses. So I do think if you are playing FPX in your stack as an upset pick, I would maybe make them a short stack or something like that because I just feel like I don't see them score 30 kills or something like that, that happened earlier today between BLG and, BLG with Uzi coming back and everything. But I don't see that. I don't see FPX, just blowing up the slate and all that. I think, like I said, if you are playing FPX pieces, I think I would probably make them a short stack and, more exposure. Short stack. For short stack. All right, the last Chinese matchup is between Rare Adam and LGD. Both teams struggling, really in bad form. So I do think this is the worst matchup to watch, just from a spectator standpoint. But for DFS standpoint, let's dive into individual laning phase here. Just notably, before we start, Jay is starting for LGD. And some people have been asking me whether Jay is an upgrade over Yeji, who had been starting for LGD. I don't think so. I think Jay is like a serviceable mid laner for me, in my opinion. He has played in the LPL before on different teams, but in the past, not very recently. Recently, he had been playing in the LDL, the minor league equivalent of the LPL. So that shows that his career has kind of declined. And even when he was playing in the LPL before, he was not even that great. He was just serviceable. He was like a medium rated, mid laner. So I don't think it's an upgrade. I honestly thought Yeji wasn't playing that bad. I don't think he was the issue. So I don't know if I will upgrade their chances to win or not. But I think he's just you know, just another mid laner, I think. So, but individual laning phase, top lane, Fearness versus Cube. I like Fearness, to be honest with you. But Cube has been all right. And then Shadow versus Leanne. I actually prefer Shadow to right now. I think Shadow's been in better form than Leanne has been. And then Jay, Strive, I definitely love Strive over Jay. I think that there's definitely a big gap between Strive and Jay. And then iBoy, Yanja versus Eric and Jinjiao. I think I'll prefer iBoy and Yanja. So I do think Rare Adam will probably most likely win the series 2-1, if not 2-0. And then I looked at the metrics again, and Rare Adam has plus 4.7% jungle control advantage. So that's pretty good, especially that I said that Shadow, you know, is a better jungler than Leanne has been. So that tells me maybe Leanne has been playing well, much better than I thought. But based on my eye test, I like Shadow better. So I don't know. And then Rare Adam, 0.7% advantage in the laning phase and 0.2% gold spend percentage, even though both teams are really bad. So they both have negative metric there. But LGD plays fast, RA plays slower, as you guys may know already. I'd say LGD plays really fast. So let's play that. Let's put that. Like I said, LGD's new mid laner, Jay, is a non-factor for LGD. I was actually originally gonna only play Rare Adam, thinking that Rare Adam's gonna win. But I think I'm gonna play LGD, have some exposure to LGD as well, because not because I think they will win. I think there's a slight chance that they can upset Rare Adam. Only because Rare Adam has been bad too. It's not like LGD is good and they can beat any team. It's because Rare Adam has been really bad too, just like LGD. So there is margin of error that Rare Adam. I've seen Rare Adam lose in many different situations, like in many different ways. So LGD can definitely exploit one of those ways to be able to, I think, rack up a win condition there. So. But also another reason to play LGD and GPP is because, like I said, LGD has probably the highest, I think that definitely has the highest CKPM, combined kills per minute metric, and the pace of play, high kill upside and pace of play, on the slate. So I think that naturally makes LGD a good play for GPP purposes, because you're really looking for that upside for GPP, as you guys know, in any sport. And so that tells me that LGD has the potential to blow up the slate and to be able to rack up those kills. And if they do win, and like I said, Rare Adam is not that great. I mean, they're okay, and I think they'll still win. They're better than LGD, but not that much better than LGD. So I think LGD definitely has a shot. And then with the high combined kills per minute kill upside, I think I like LGD for GPP play as well. So that's it for China. There's a lot to go over for China, but in Korea we have two matchups between KT versus T1. T1 is the big favorite at minus 455, and then Genji versus Live Sandbox. Genji is even a bigger favorite at minus 650. This is my expected lineup. I think Rascal, and then I actually do not know. I think it's a 50-50 between Cuz and Gideon in the jungle position for KT. Because I think Gideon started in game 1 and 2 in the last series for KT, and then game 3 Cuz came in and subbed in. So and then Area, Aiming, and Life. I'm pretty sure of those 3 and 4 out of 5 for KT, except for the jungling position. And for T1, it's been the solid, I'm pretty sure, 99% sure this is what's going to be. Zeus, Owner, Faker, Yumka Mayushi, and Kyria. And then that matchup, kills total over-under is sitting at 23.5, so pretty low compared to the LPL matchups. And then the second matchup of the day is Genji versus Sandbox, like I said. And then Genji should have Doran back from the COVID quarantine today, pending any negative test results that we're not aware of. He was scheduled to be released today, so I think Doran's going to be back, and their full squad will be back. Super Team's going to be back. So Doran, Peanut, Chovy, Ruler, Lahens, 99% sure, except for maybe Doran. We don't know, depending on the test result, but I'm pretty sure he's going to come back and start. And then Dove, Croco, Closer, Ice, and Kale. I think since they really played well, I think they just beat Freon, I believe. They played really well. I think the same 5 is going to start. The only question mark is really in the bottom lane between Ice and Kale, or maybe just in the AD carry position. But I think Ice is going to start again, just given that they won the last game and they're still in the last place. So, and this one is also sitting at 23.5. I do want to share some insights about these two LCK matchups, even though they're most likely be lopsided based on the Vegas odds, but also what I think eye test wise. First, between KT and T1, I think T1's going to win 2-0. And notably, most people may not know this, but this is actually the last matchup for these two teams, like T1 and Genji, the big favorites, top 1 and 2 teams in the LCK standings. This is the last matchup before the second half of the spring split starts. So basically they have round 1, which they call the first half of the spring split. And then the round 2 is the second half of the spring split. So this is the last matchup of the round 1, which kind of, they always talk about how they want to finish strong in round 1, blah, blah, blah. So I do think that gives T1 and Genji a little more motivation and less likely to fall in the trap game and such. So I think T1's going to take care of business. I think T1 has been struggling a little bit in form against the previous opponents more recently, but against KT, I think T1's going to take care of business. In every single position, I think T1 has an advantage. Yeah, so I like that, and I think both teams are fadeable though due to low combined kills per minute tendencies. To be honest with you, I think let's say T1 wins, which I think they will, and their combined kills per minute is kind of low, and it's not like KT, in their losses they give up a lot of deaths. They don't. It doesn't happen. At least the metric tells me that they don't do that. And then also if KT somehow upsets T1, T1 is also really, really bad in giving up deaths. Like they're really, really like historically low in giving up deaths in their losses. So I don't think KT is viable. I think T1, I think some people will play T1, but I just feel like it's gonna be a low kill matchup. So I think I'm gonna fade both teams. The second LCK matchup is between Genji versus Liv Sandbox. The combined kills per minute for this matchup is a little bit higher than the KT and T1 matchup, only because both teams like to play a little bit faster. I do have Genji win 2-0. I think Liv Sandbox has been one of the worst teams, 2 of the worst teams, I think. One of the 2 worst teams, rather, sorry, between Sandbox and Hanwha Life. I know Sandbox just beat Breon, but overall, they've just been so volatile up and down. And against elite teams, they tend to struggle because they just make too aggressive plays, and then it comes back and it's bite them in the ass. I feel like Genji is going to take care of that, take advantage of those bad mistakes that Sandbox will likely make. And Genji has more win conditions than Sandbox, because I think Sandbox's only win condition has been this split is to go up aggressive, make very aggressive plays, tower dive, and make early plays and snowball from there, especially in the mid lane and the jungle position between Croco and Closer. Closer has been getting some criticisms because he makes those mistakes by just going head on, full throttle all the time. But I just feel like going up against Chovy, I don't think Chovy will allow that to happen. So I think Genji's gonna win, and like I said, this one has a little bit of higher combined kills per minute, so I think I'm gonna play Genji as one of my stacks. So after all of that, so 5 games on the slate. I think my stack options are as following. This is probably gonna be my stack options for tonight's builds: EDG or FPX, RA or LGD, and Weibo Gaming and the Genji. So I think that kind of limits my player pool, but for what it's worth, that's what I have. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll be available tonight on Discord and on Twitter and on YouTube. So if you guys have any questions or just want to talk chat league, let me know. I'm happy to do so. All right, have a good one and good luck. Bye.